was arrested after the remains of 37 dead dogs were found at his premises. Apparently, his scam was to take in the pets of owners who could no longer keep them on the promise that he would rehome them for a fee. In January 2025, dogs were reported as being slaughtered all throughout the streets of Morocco, with an estimated 3 million set to be exterminated as part of that Muslim nation's preparations to host the 2030 World Cup. In August of 2024, and in the words of Turkish journalist Uzey Bulut, the dog massacre law that the government of Turkey passed on July 30 is causing a rampage of cruelty by evil people in Turkey.
Enter into that outside the house, angels don't enter into that house, except for a person keeps that dog for agriculture as some form of security outside the area, or a hunting dog, which I can safely conclude that doesn't fall upon us today. The saliva of the dog is impure. If it touches you, falls upon something, wash it 6 or 7 times, and then the 8th time, so wash it with turab, any form of detergent. Person keeps a dog inside the house will lose 1 mountain's weight of good deeds every single day. Dog inside the house, ain't
York and other places all around the country. If you love your dog or your pets, do not walk them out in public. Keep them hidden and tucked away, and for God's sake, don't let them accidentally get out of your house. I'm going to make a 3-part series, and I hope you watch them because it is taking me hours to do. So I'll just do one video at a time. My first video is going to be on Islam and Sharia law, which is going to take over your cities real quick. The second one I'm going to do that nobody's talking about is, why did God create Islam? Nobody's talking about that. They're just talking about Islam itself and what's going on with that, which I'm going to do in this first one. But the second one is why. And the third one I'm going to do is on Marxism, socialism, communism. And it all just circles right around to the Democratic Party and what they're all about, which is all of this. So we're going to watch out, because you should see Bernie's shopping list is just chocked full of Islam, Marxists, communists, and socialists. He's got people lined up to plant all over this country in offices. So if you're not educated on any of this, please be looking out for this videos. This first one I'm going to do, Islam and Sharia law. Take a look. This was New York 10 years ago.
Which is made by people, and the Sharia law is made by Allah, so that is all the way above. That has to be definitely in the land, not for the America, for the whole world, would be above the
So
Sharia
that
law.
should be above the U.S.
Definitely.
Constitution.
Yes.
Be the law of the land in the U.S.
Also helpful to protect our Sharia.
Should Sharia law be over the U.S. Constitution?
Yes.
Your thoughts, should Sharia law supersede the U.S. Constitution?
No, but I think the Sharia law is made by God, by Allah, and the Constitution is made by people. So it's not the same.
Do you believe that Sharia law should be above the U.S. Constitution?
Yes. Yes. Sharia law is completely different than United States Constitution. As a Muslim, you practice my Islamic law. As a Muslim, but
That was 10 years ago, guys. Did you see what it was like after Mandami won the election? It has grown exponentially since then. This already started. Those people already believed that Sharia law was above everything 10 years ago. And we all know they got way more radical since then. So, yeah, you're going to be not, your police department is going to get defunded, but it's going to be replaced by community police, which is Sharia law. And here's what it looks like in Europe.
That's 2/3. 23% of British Muslims want the implementation of Sharia law in the UK. That's nearly 1 million Muslims that need to leave. They need to go. It's not going to work. The time of I said we walked on eggshells for years. Well, no need to walk on eggshells now. We're not at that point anymore. The British public are ready. We need mass deportations. We want them gone. They're not asylum seekers. They've gone through 16 safe countries. And it's not going to work. We know it's not going to work. We know it's not going to work by looking at Luton, looking at Bradford, looking at Birmingham, Islamic ghetto after Islamic ghetto after Islamic ghetto. It's no assimilation, no integration. And you keep the borders open still. You keep bringing them in. One murder should have been enough. The fact that women are being butchered and raped in every town and city across our country, and you continue to keep bringing them in. And whilst you're bringing them in, we're meant to pay for it. The British public are meant to pay for it. So these hotels, do you know the government, Keir Starmer's solution to this is, we're going to get them out of the hotels. How are they getting them out of the hotels? They give them your houses. We're getting them out of the hotels and put them next door to you, in your housing estate.
In one part of town, Ramesa and his associates have set up so-called Sharia patrols to go out and discourage behavior that they deem un-Islamic.
There's some guys there.
On this night, they stopped to talk to a couple of non-Muslim men who were in a park drinking beer, which is forbidden under Islam.
So we're just reminding the community about staying safe. And in this area, there's a lot of gambling that goes on, a lot of alcohol drinking, and it leads to a lot of problems. So we advise you, and we advise anyone you see, to stay away from these things.
Get the prostitutes off our streets!
But the patrols are not always so friendly. Online clips give a very different picture. A woman in a short skirt is abused.
Vigilante cannot dress like that in Muslim area.
I'm so appalled.
We don't care if you're appalled at all. Muslim patrols.
It's Great Britain.
This we don't care. It's not so Great Britain. You need to get out of it.
A man the patrol thinks is gay is insulted.
Get out of here quicker then. You're dirty, mate. You're a gay, mate. Get out of here, mate.
In the night time, it turns into a very ugly place like many other places.
Walking through London with Ramesa, you experience an alternate reality where there is no compromise and all conversations are one-sided.
Ultimately, I want to see every single woman in this country covered from head to toe. I want to see the hand of the thief cut. I want to see adulterers stoned to death. I want to see Sharia law in Europe, and I want to see it in America as well. I believe our patrols are a means to an end.
The only thing I would say is that in America and in the United Kingdom, democracy,
backwards one,
but it's a system that allows the people to choose what they want and allows people freedom.
So why can't I choose Sharia? When in Rome, overthrow Caesar, implement the Sharia.
In your home, you can do whatever you want.
But what about in the public? Why can't I tell you to cover up? Am I free to say that?
Because it would be outrageous.
So where's my freedom? Where's my freedom?
You can say it to me, but
okay, so cover up. Wear the hijab.
That's absurd.
The thought of Chowdhury's supporters taking the law into their own hands is deeply frightening to most British people. This is a group that believes the West is at war with Islam and that the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan justify any kind of violence in response.
I'm sensing a double standard here because essentially you're very quick to condemn acts of violence by the West, but you refuse to condemn any act of violence by your fellow Muslims.
No, I believe that there's a difference between the
Soldier Lee Rigby on a London street last year.
We have killed this man today is because Muslims are dying daily by British soldiers.
On that day, the man wielding the knife was a known associate of Chowdhury. Chowdhury has refused to condemn Rigby's murder, nor will he criticize ISIS for the beheading of American journalist James Foley and other Western hostages.
You know, I don't know the details about James Foley.
I know the details. Let me educate you because he was a friend of mine.
I'm afraid. Sorry, I don't believe you.
You don't believe me that James Foley was a journalist?
I don't believe any Western journalist, quite frankly. I believe your lies until proven otherwise. But let me tell you something. The perspective of the Muslims of journalists, whether that be James Foley and others, is that they are the propaganda for the Western regime.
Have you Yikes. And y'all just keep voting people in like this. This isn't just New York. Now you're in Minneapolis. You got this everywhere now. You got it down in Texas. You got it. They are coming into cities to take over state by state by state by state. They breed hard and they know what they're doing. Their kids are indoctrinated to be like this. So, you know, it all starts out nice and you know, and then they work into their brutality of everything. So, just so you know, And then, I mean, even tonight, I'm just sitting here watching the massacres in Africa right now. But I will show you this little clip, and then I'll get right back to you. And then we're almost done.
Torturing, raping hundreds of thousands of Christians in Africa and the Middle East. Who is doing this?
Radical Islamists, and they have become more radical as governments, including Nigeria and others, look the other way or say it's not happening, the culture of denial. And that becomes an enabling factor like none other. And the last administration, and I took them to task over and over again, I couldn't believe that Biden just looked the other way when it came to these massive killings and attributed, like I said a moment ago, to global warming. I mean, it doesn't even pass the straight face test. But there is a rising tide of this radical Islamist view right here in the United States, in Europe, certainly in Africa, and the Middle East is just, you know, look how long we were getting behind the UN Works Relief, agency. I tried to defund them 20 years ago, and my legislation passed the House. Thankfully, in comes our president, and he defunded them completely because they were a workshop for child soldiers and radicalism among the people in the Middle East, the Palestinians. And if you're a moderate Palestinian Muslim, forget it. You're either coerced, you better leave, or you're killed. And if you're a Christian, it's the same thing. So, this gross intolerance to people of other faiths, but they think when they kill you, they're doing God's will. And that is absolutely perverting. So it is a global intifada, and it's going on all over the world, and it is getting significantly worse. He testified, the Boko Haram broke into his home, put an AK-47 to his cheek and said, "You renounce your faith as a Christian and become a Muslim right now, or I'll blow your brains out." He said, "I'm ready to meet my Lord." They pulled the trigger, and he had very, very serious scarring, but he miraculously survived. That's happening every single.
There is no integration. They will not integrate into our society. Right now, what you're seeing is a low-lying level. But look at Dearborn, Michigan. I mean, those people are broadcasting their worship sessions over the, their mayor is literally telling people to leave the city. It's methodically being placed. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the devil. But you'll see as we go along here. So y'all got to stop voting for them because they're spreading like the plague. You're going to send them into places like that. Like, your decisions are fucking with our lives, basically. You're taking down the whole country. And I don't live in your state, but that means that your state's going to breed into my state. And that's not okay with me. Okay, so I'm going to end this one for now. And next one I'm going to go into is, why is it written out in the Bible, the rise of Islam? It's been in there the whole time, before Jesus was even born. So I'm going to tell you about that because nobody ever talks about it. I'm just seeing videos like the one I just made that this is what's going to happen. But why? So I have all that ready to go. I just got to put that video together. I'm going to do that at a time because it's late right now. And I have all my Marxist, communist, and socialist video all put together basically too. So I'm going to be putting this series together in the next couple days. You'll see everything. I might actually have it done by tomorrow night. So be looking out for those because it all ties together in the 6 points of the Democratic Party. Love you, Trump. Love you, God. And Dems,